So this comes to us from LA Times. It was a very popular article the last couple days because there is a deadline, and it kind of says it here in the title: free McLaren or Bentley? Sellers get creative to close deals before mansion tax kicks in. So let me read a little bit of this, and we can stop as we go. As you can see here, number of cars to choose from. This $16.5 million mansion comes with any of the cars in the photo, as long as a buyer can close this deal before April 1st. So right now there's a mansion on the market in Beverly Crest. Buy it in the next few days and you'll get a free McLaren or an Aston Martin or a Bentley. Act fast. If you wait too long, you'll get nothing. It's one of the many time-sensitive deals available right now in LA's luxury real estate market, which has been scrambling since voters passed Measure ULA in November. The bill, dubbed as a mansion tax, will bring a one-time transfer tax to high-end property sales, including a 4% tax on sales above $5 million and a 5.5% tax on sales above $10 million. Designed to fund homelessness prevention and affordable housing construction, it kicks in April 1st. And many of those who would be affected have spent the last 4 months devising ways to get out of it. Some have suggested schemes to shirk the tax, such as dividing properties to get them under the $5 million price point. Attorneys and law firms have flooded the inboxes of real estate agents offering their services in finding such solutions. Others in the industry have tried to stop the measure from happening altogether, suing on the grounds that it violates the California Constitution. Now, in the waning days before the bill takes effect, homeowners and agents are sweetening the pot to sell homes before April 1st. If necessity is the mother of invention, the necessity here is selling a house to avoid a hefty tax bill, and the invention is throwing in a luxury car as a cherry on top. So let's see here. One $16.5 million listing is offering the buyer their choice of an Aston Martin Vantage, an Aston Martin DBX 707, McLaren GT, or Bentley Bentayga EWB if they pay the full price and close escrow before April 1st. We wanted to come up with the marketing strategy that would make sense with the house, which has this amazing 1,300 square foot underground car gallery, so the buyer can choose one of these cars to put in the gallery, said Tatiana Deravanassian, the agent with Dream Living LA who holds the listing. You get a house and a car. It's a 1-2 punch. But buyer beware, if you can't close the deal before Measure ULA kicks in, the cars are off the table. Other listings appeal to buyers' agents, offering more commission if they can convince their clients to buy before the deadline. In Bel Air, a $28 million mansion owned by celebrity plastic surgeon and botched star Paul Nassif is offering a $1 million bonus to whichever agent can bring a buyer who closes escrow before April 1st. The math makes sense. Under ULA, Nassif would have to pay a $1.54 million transfer tax. So if he can pay an agent $1 million to convince their buyer to close before April 1, he'll save $500,000. Josh Altman of Douglas Elliman, who's co-listing the property, said he's negotiated everything into deals before: cars, boats, vacation rentals, paid staff for a year. He brokered one deal that included a clause where the seller could come back and use the house for 1 month every year. But the broker bonus is a first, and he said it's been successful so far. We've been showing it 8 to 10 times per week. Oops. By far the most of any listing we have in this price range, he said. We're negotiating 2 offers right now and have had multiple offers since. One listing in Pacific Palisades is opting for a potentially sneaky route. In the fine print only visible to agents, not buyers, on the multiple listing service website, it promises a bump from 2.5% commission to 4% for the buyer's agent if they can get their client to close before April 1st. It's a horrible look for our industry, said Anthony Margulis of Amalfi Estates. What type of agent would force their client to buy something to make more money, even if it's not the right property for them? I think he's blowing that up a little. But anyway, listing notes on sites such as Zillow or Redfin are typically used to sing the praises of the property, boasting about scenic views, unique designs, or luxury amenities. But these days, many reference Measure ULA. Due to the upcoming ULA tax starting April 1st, get a $400K deduction from seller if you close escrow by March 31st. Reads a listing for an $8.25 million modern farmhouse in Pacific Palisades. Another listing features a more direct tone in caps. Reduced purchase price of $20,995,000. This is an amazing opportunity for a buyer who can close prior to April 1st. Post April 1st, the purchase price will revert back to $21,995,000. A lot of this is just marketing hoopla, said Billy Rose of the agency. Rose recently trimmed the price of a penthouse from $75 million to $50 million, but said the price cut wasn't due to Measure ULA. Instead, he noted that buyer demand has diminished for a number of reasons. Industry experts generally agree that LA's luxury market has slowed down this year, and the data agrees. So far in 2023, there have been 70 sales above $5 million and 22 above $10 million in the city of LA, compared with 78 above $5 million and 26 above $10 million during the same stretch in 2022. But that hasn't stopped sellers from putting their homes on the market anyway in hopes of closing a deal before April 1st. This year, there have been 231 new listings above $5 million and 276 properties with reduced prices. In the same stretch last year, there were just 130 new listings above $5 million and 154 reductions. I'll do anything to sell, said the owner of one home in Brentwood who wished to remain anonymous to not affect a potential sale. This market is a mess. So yeah, definitely the luxury market is not doing so good. But anyway, this thing goes on and on and on.
It does. I think we're good there.
Yeah. Oh, well, I just want, because I know you love Marky Mark.
Yeah, sure. You would say.
So Mark Wahlberg avoided a $3.025 million tax by selling his Beverly Park mega mansion before April 1st. Look at that.
Yeah, and he moved to Nevada.
Yes, to really save money. Yeah,
sure.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
So, what's the moral of the story here, man? What are your comments?
Well, I guess Measure ULA, I do have an issue. The first off, for those of you that don't know, there is already a tax on every sale in Los Angeles. It's about 0.5%. It's $4.50 per $1,000 of purchase price. It happens on every sale. It always has, as long as I've been in the business. So that doesn't go away, as far as I know. This is added on top of that. If we sold more $5 to $10 million plus houses, I have all the details in front of me. But I don't. Pretty sure it's still, they both apply. This is a separate tax. My issue with ULA is that, gosh, imagine you bought the house for, $4.5 million, and now it's worth $5.2 million.
Yeah.
You're going to pay 4% tax, not based on profit, but based on exchanging that home. And I think that's inappropriate. I think it should have been, think it should have been on the profit. And that's fine. I agree. There's a lot more money at the top. And
it would have been fair. It would have been fair.
It would have been more fair, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And then the second component of ULA just comes down to what is the city actually going to do with the money. And gosh, I certainly find myself moving towards one camp pretty quickly. It's going towards affordable housing, but yet the first step the city has taken with that money in mind, which is already a submitted proposal and under review, is to pay for attorneys for all tenants. That's the first thing they've done. And I would say AGLA probably came up with the best argument for me. The cost of housing that the city pays for this affordable housing is off the charts.
Yeah,
I did a very napkin statistic thing, and they could probably pay for somebody's rent for 30 years, and the cost what's going to cost them to build 1 unit per person. Just give the money to the person to pay for their rent directly, rather than going out and building. It would make so much more sense. And now, in addition to that, they're going to, rather than, again, if not all, and probably not all, but the majority of evictions are going to be based on non-payment of rent. So now, instead of reimbursing that tenant the money to let them stay in their place and not get evicted, they are going to pay for an attorney. So, and that attorney is going to cost probably a year's worth of rental income to keep that. It makes no sense. So I have a harder and harder time every day to hand my money over to irrational politicians and how they utilize this money.
Well, go ahead.
Right.
No, I was going to say, the string of comments here, I looked at this a couple of days ago as a couple, but now it goes on and on and on. So you're not alone in your opinion, I'm sure. Between mismanagement of the city in terms of previous programs and, like you're saying, ultimately attorneys winning no matter what.
Yeah. I support helping people. The one argument in there was in that article we just wrapped up was from an Occidental professor who helped put this together. And, it's the typical argument of, gosh, of course, rich people should willingly pay to help support homeless people get off the streets. But it's not that simple. That's just so lame. That comment is so lame because it's nowhere near that simple. Wealthier people should pay a little more to help create stability because the system has given them many more opportunities often. But what's done with that is also relevant, So there you go. I support the concept of ULA. I don't support the system in which it was created and where the money's going to go and what they do with it.
I want you to know, as we were doing this, I already got a message from a client saying, hey, I didn't get my Bentley. So I guess we're going to have to come up with like a scooter or something for our price range.
Maybe that was the one that said the agent gets the Bentley if they sell it rather than the client. It was a different house, man.
Okay. All right. Let's use that.